That is so cool.
What do you think, Brian?
I want it.
All right, so it's day 6 of rescuing the Cougar. The guys are already down at the hangar, and I got to get down there. We got avionics to do, we got the whole annual to do, and so much more. And we got to get this thing rescued. We got to fly it out of here and get it back to the rescue hangar. We paid $30,950 for this Cougar, and in today's market, we think we can sell it for $110,000. We're hoping to make a $20,000 profit on it, giving us a budget of $59,000. Now, $59,000 may sound like a big budget, but we need to fix 2 engines, find 2 new propellers, and install new avionics. We already surpassed our original time limit of just 5 days. Looking back, I'm not sure what I was thinking. We also blew right through our budget, and we have a lot of work that we have to get done yet. I'm not sure how this is all gonna work out. So Dan stopped by from Centennial Aviation. He gave us a call because we knew we were here, and a guy's coming down now to help with the transponder check. So it's huge. Otherwise, you know, we wouldn't be able to fly this. Well, at least in the airspaces we're going to be flying into. Yeah. So thank you for stopping by and actually showing me some of the different stuff we have here. Because yeah, this is like all new to me.
Marco.
Polo. Oh, sorry. It's just habit.
Look at this. That's Brian back in, I wrote it, 2006.
You don't have, where'd your beard go?
Well, it was in development stage.
It was in development? So, we brought some shirts for you guys.
I'll look good in that.
Yeah.
Oh, well. I was going to give you a pink one, but I thought red was a little more your color.
Yeah, red's a little better.
Thank you for helping out with those mags and everything.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You guys have been awesome. If you guys ever get a chance and you're over in this area, stop at Griswold Aviation. They have a really good shop here, and they always have really nice airplanes in here. So to me, that always says like what kind of shop it is, and it's like really, really clean. So we're going to clean up after ourselves over there.
No worries.
But they've been great, and we appreciate everything you guys have done. This project wouldn't have been possible at all. So.
Oh,
it's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, brother.
No problem.
Cool. Thank you, Brian.
You betcha, bud. Back to work.
Brian.
All right, so we got the pigtail adapter that we made all finished up, and this will allow us to use the transponder antenna end that was already in the Cougar behind the panel. Everything should mate up and work perfectly. So the next challenge that we have in these avionics is we have to go ahead and mount the encoder here that we already have wired up on this harness and hook it to static line here. So we're going to find a place to mount that works back in the panel, and after that we can go ahead and start bolting all this stuff in.
How you doing, Joe?
Miserable.
You should get a creeper this time.
Yeah.
We got a mount made for the encoder here, and we had to go ahead and use some Cherry Maxes to get it riveted in because it's just going to be too tight because the trays slide right in beside it. We wanted to have some good clearance, but it'll be a good strong mount, and I don't know if this encoder is going to stay in there when we put the final install, the avionics later on once we get it back to the rescue hangar, or if we'll leave it in. So I want to make sure it's a good solid mount and everything is 100% safe.
Lancaster's going to be good.
Up until 7 p.m. and then tomorrow it
gets cleared out again at
10 a.m. Yeah. So here's the weather that we have, and it always seems like every time we go on a trip we have a belt like this somewhere. So Sam's on the line now. It'll add maybe an hour or so onto the trip each way, but it's going to be the safest way to go. made all the connections on the antennas, and we have all the trays in here, and this thing is like completely solid. So next thing we had to do is go ahead and get the units slid in here, get some power to them, and I think the guys are going to be here soon to check out the transponder. This looks so, the panel looks so much better already. All right, so we got the new audio paddle in, we have the GPS of 440 in, and we got the transponder in. All we got to do now is fire it up. Hopefully all the smoke stays in the wires and it doesn't come out of the radios, and we are good to go. Ready to give this a shot?
Yeah.
There we go. It still smells okay. It doesn't smell like fire. So we got some guys here from Centennial Aircraft Services who are pros. So I'm gonna hand this off to them. Hopefully they don't find that I did this all wrong, but I do think we're okay. They're gonna go ahead, get this all set up, and they're gonna go ahead and get it checked out so we can get something to log saying we can fly this where we wanna fly it. We're getting our first logbook entry, our first official one since buying the Cougar. It passed the transponder test.
So we specialize in avionics retrofits. Specifically, we're a Garmin authorized vendor, so we work a lot with Garmin and Garmin Aviation as far as putting stuff in outdated planes, trying to modernize them and get them into the 21st century.
So the guys are checking out the transponder, and I thought for sure when he looked up he was going to tell me that it's not working, it's hooked up to the wrong antenna or something, because we had to change a bunch of stuff in there. But everything's going okay. Yep. I see a whole bunch of passes on your screen there. So
yeah, a lot of passes, just a power frequency out. Normally that just happens with that big antenna.
Okay.
So we'll hook up directly to it with the isolator, and
nice.
Hopefully it's all good to go.
Nice.
So far, so good. You passed.
All right.
Pretty good.
All right. Oh, I'm not good on tests, so. Well, I can definitely hear myself. Try it now. Perfect. Yeah, it's reading on here too. So yeah, awesome. The transponder's all hooked up. It passed. It's working great. The comms we just checked, they work as well. And the audio panel is obviously working too, because it's all rigged in through here. Man, I was really struggling, really worried about this whole installation, but everything's good. I mean, everything was easy to work with. Ron, he did an excellent job, with the harness, and yeah, everything's looking really good. We're at the end of day 6 of working on the Cougar, and she's come a really, really long way. We have avionics in that work. We're gonna button a few things up, but Sam's here, and it's time for us to get back to the rescue hangar because we got a lot of work to do in the 401, but we're gonna be back. If I'm honest, I had a number of mixed emotions about leaving once again without the Cougar. I'm kind of feeling like I failed. I mean, I really felt like if we had one more day, we could fly her home, but with the carburetor needing overhauled and a bunch of other things still needing done yet, we really didn't have any other choice. And besides, we have to get back to the rescue hangar because we have the 401 Phoenix project and it needs to get finished as well. This is a 1993 Mustang LX convertible special edition. They only built 1,503 of these, and you can win it on rebuildrescue.com. All right, so Steve is heading over here. We're gonna hop in the Cougar and we're gonna fly out to Michigan so we can get the Cougar done. We spent a couple days here at the rescue hangar working on the 401, but we gotta get out to Michigan because we gotta get that thing back here. We gotta get it sold so we can move on to the next project. I just got back here to Marshall, Michigan, to Brooks Airfield, and I pull up, we get some fuel in the Cougar because Steve and I flew the Cougar over. Brian, what'd you do? What'd you do to the Cougar?
We polished it.
Man, it's polished. Oh my God, that's so funny. So if you guys remember, like all the bird crap that was all over this thing, they got it all washed up. It is gone. It shines. I didn't know this thing shined.
I didn't either.
Man, that looks really good.
It needed it.
It did need it. It was so bad. This thing had so much bird poop on it.
It was getting so cold yesterday that we were putting ice on the wings.
So you had like frozen poop.
Yeah. No, I was making slushies up on top.
Slushies bird. What do you think, Steve?
Looks good.
Yeah, looks like a Cougar, right?
Yeah, it looks like a cougar.
You know what? Like I really wanted to fly them both at the same time and get like Cougar flying Cougar kind of deal. And I really kind of want to race them too.
I'm in.
So yeah, I mean, all we got to do yet is, and the other thing too, while I was gone, so Brian got the brakes all fixed up, the annual finished, the hoses that had some dry rot in the wings done, the carburetor's on. Like you didn't leave anything for me to do. You wanted to have all the fun yourself.
Yeah, well, I don't share well.
I think, it's a little bit later. We got here a little later than we wanted to today, but we did get here. And tomorrow morning, we're going to get up and get those. I have the avionics to touch up yet. And then after the avionics are all ready to go, we can test fly it.
Yep.
My question is, what's the percentage chance that it flies perfectly? We have no issues. And we can head home.
You know me, I'm 100%.
100%. I love it. I love it. I love it. Awesome. So we'll see. It is day 7 of working on this Cougar. So I showed up with Steve last night, and the only thing that we have to do yet is get the avionics sorted out a little bit. We got a couple wires to hook on, and we're going to be good to go.
We're going to fly it.
Ish. And you said your percentage, it's going to fly.
100%,
So 110%. All right, so with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get the cowling back on. Is this good to put the cowling on?
Yeah.
We're good? Yeah. All right, so we're going to put the cowling on the right engine. We're going to put the cowling on the left engine. And then after that, we're going to dig in here to all of this nice wiring and get this finished up. I'm actually feeling really good about that. The harness, that Sparky supplied for us worked great. All the Avidyne, avionics, they hooked up great. They were actually easy to install. Yeah,
Jason did it.
Yeah, right. I was asking Brian a lot of questions. Don't let him fool you. So yes, let's get at it. Let's get into this, and then we're gonna go ahead. We're pulling it out of here. We're test flying it. Always hold on to your screws when you're in the cowling and working and you're on your last screw, and if you drop it, you got to take the whole cowling apart. Drop the first screw, not the last one. We got both cowlings on, everything is all bolted up. We got some preheaters in there heating up the engines for the test flight. We do have the avionics to do, but we have to go visit one of Brian's friends, Hillbilly. Hillbilly was out to visit us. I didn't know he was coming last time we were here. He's an awesome guy, so we're gonna go over and we're gonna surprise him over to the body shop he works at, and we got some shirts and some different stuff to take over to the guys while this heats up. And then when we get back, we're gonna finish the avionics and we're gonna go ahead and test fly this sucker. I can't wait.
There's the Hillbilly.
This is way too clean to be a body shop. What's up, brother? How are you?
Found your way?
No.
Wow. a 69 Firebird is like my favorite car, bar none. I mean, it's a 68, a little different quarter panel, obviously, but man, I might have to paint an airplane this color someday. Yeah, so we were just looking at these wheels, and if you guys look, these wheels here, it's like pretty much any lug, any pattern you want, you can put it on any car, and because it's steel and because it's so thin, it'll glide right over any floor. You don't have to worry if it's got a posi rear or any. I mean, I'm sure they probably push really easy with those on, right?
Yeah, you can even scoot it a little bit if you
Just like slide it. That's brilliant. I love it. Well, I can tell you, I've seen a ton of restorations, and I used to own 2 body shops. So, and I did body work most of my life, paintless dent removal and stuff like that, and that's about as straight as it comes.
Straight. We only do show quality paint,
Yeah,
so
it shows.
that's what you get.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And if you guys could see, like, I might even have to change the 401 color to that. So we brought some Rebuild Rescue shirts over. Awesome.
You'll grow into it, Willie.
I don't think I brought any mediums. Yeah, thank you for showing me around the shop. And I kind of feel like the Trans Am should be here.
We got an open spot.
We right, you do. I like the way he thinks. It was good to meet you. Thank you for having me over. All right, so we're back here inside the Cougar. The only thing that we have to do before we test fly this is go ahead and get all these avionics all wired up correctly. There's just a power, there's a ground, and the push to talk needs hooked up permanently on both sides. So unfortunately, you guys saw in the last episode, this is a mess of like wires and yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot figuring out where all these go to, what the breakers are into, what wires are hooked up, what aren't. But we're almost there. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get the power hooked up permanently, the ground hooked up permanently, and then get the new receptacles over here for the headset, and get the push to talk for the pilot all hooked up. This one is already hooked up and does work. Just have some crimps to put in and connectors. We'll be good to go. So it's going to be like really hard for you guys to see, but every single one of these wires, all the power wires, it's marked with what it powers, whether it's the encoder, the transponder, the GPS comm, or the audio panel. And each one of these breakers right here used to be hooked up to one of those separately. Now they're not marked, so I kind of have no idea. So I got to go ahead, I got to test where all these breakers go, make sure it's no longer using the panel, and then find the proper breaker to power these lines. And then we're hooked up and each one has its own breaker. If one breaker goes out, it doesn't shut the whole audio panel and the whole GPS and like all the avionics out. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of figuring out. So gonna go ahead and just start testing those out and seeing where they go.
There's something in there. Is that a big rat? Oh no, it's Jason.
Yeah. So if you guys remember from when I was working on the 401 tail and I was in the tail of it and I was complaining about being claustrophobic. Well,
We got the opening up here for you.
being underneath this pedal assembly is a whole new level of being in a tight space.
I'd give you a hand, but I don't think I want to. It's more fun.
I don't think both of us are going to fit down here,
That's
Brian.
exactly true.
I mean, I like you, but I don't know if I want you crammed in a space this small with me either. I'm in here working on the Cougar, and it's Bobby, right?
Yep.
And Bobby stops by with 768 Golf Alpha. I was just on the phone with Sam, talking to Sam, and we got the sister to Sam's Cougar, but I have to tell you, this thing looks like it's in a little better shape.
It's real nice.
Yeah, it's a nice Cougar, man. Yeah, so Sam's Cougar is 769 Golf Alpha, all the original Grumman Cougar numbers.
Yep.
And I think out of the three, I think this one's the nicest one.
This one's nice.
So we went ahead and used the first and the second breakers here because they had good rating for the transponder and the audio panel and the encoder that's mounted back here. So I'm gonna go ahead, flip everything on, and see if they all work. All right, so we got our audio panel, we got our GPS, and we got our transponder. All right, so everything is coming through these breakers. Everything's powering up. It looks good to go. I got these wired up. I have a couple more wires here, and then I got to feed the wires for the second comm for the pilot over to here, and then go ahead and hook up the push to talk. And this thing can fly, and we got to do it soon, guys, because if you look out here, the sun is going down, and we really don't want to test fly this thing at dark. Meanwhile, Brian's shining it up because he said they fly better when they're clean.
I do windows too.
He does windows. So Bobby, what do you think? Is this thing gonna fly or what?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah?
yeah. She'll fly.
No problem. It's
Nope.
a Cougar, right?
Oh yeah, it's a Cougar.
So you guys don't even realize this. So Bobby stopped by. I didn't realize this till a couple minutes ago. Bobby used to own this Cougar.
Yep.
This was yours.
This is mine. Yep. With my partner.
Man, and now his Cougar, if you see it right out there, is just waiting to see this Cougar fly. I think we need some formation flying. Finally got the push to talk hooked up. As it turns out, the Avidyne and the way everything's wired up, it's totally different from what, well, from what I was thinking, and from the older stuff too. So, and it took a little bit, but I think we got it. So now,
You ready?
go ahead.
You got the fire extinguisher?
Yeah, I got the fire extinguisher.
Bingo.
Man, it works. All that just for like a little push to talk.
2 wires.
2 wires. So it's 2 wires together instead of grounded. But you know what? I think it could probably also be wired differently in the harness. So it depends too on how the harness was wired.
Yeah, it could work in an old system or a new system.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. I'll bet you depending on the way the harness is set up, I'd have to look at the schematics. You could do it the exact same way and it would be a 1-wire hookup to ground.
And if you push down on this and move it forward and back, the trim works.
You don't know why Brian was picking on me about that, but
And this one clicks too.
and it just makes a clicky sound for the heck of it. As we were trying to figure out some different things in here and work on the wiring, and I thought for sure I messed up the trim for a while because the trim wasn't working. Well, here you're going to push the trim button down. It's different than some of my airplanes that I've had. So
Now, some of them have 2 buttons you got to push together.
yeah, that's how mine is. That's how it you don't push it down. So the trim's working. All of the comms are working. All of everything else. All of it.
You just ran out of daylight.
Yeah, so we just ran out of daylight. Everything's wired up and everything seems to be working. I mean, we didn't put a headset on to test that left one. We tested the right one last time I was here.
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, you can hear me? We're good. All right. I think, obviously we tested the GPS to see if the breaker worked. It worked.
That was tested?
Yeah, it was tested. So the only thing really, we got to put a couple covers on this panel. At this point, that means today was day 7. I lost track of days. I think it was day 7 today. Tomorrow is really day 8, but the airplane's done today. So we got to the end of day 7. The airplane is done. We have a bunch more money than what we thought we were going to have in it, what I thought I was going to have in it. So I have to actually go through the numbers and look at it, but I know that, I did save money on those props though. So I saved those props for $24,000 because that's what I paid for that airplane to get the props. But I just had someone call me like 2 days ago and said they want to buy that airplane for $25,000.
There you go.
So that's 2 free props. If you guys remember in a previous video, the propellers we installed, they came off of a Cougar that we bought in Florida. We ran them over to the team at Aviation Propellers so they could be checked out and shipped over to Michigan.
Hey Jason, what's up, man? Jason from Aviation Propellers in Miami, Florida here. Just checking in to let you know I got both of your Hartzell props crated up and ready to go. So bolt them up and fly safe, my man. Take it easy. See you soon.
out here at Brooks Airfield, and Brian is in the Cougar. He is about ready to take off for the first time. I think it's been like, I don't know, like 2 years since that thing's flown. We did a bunch of work to it, and it should fly for the first time in a while. What's up, Bobby?
All right.
You ready to go check this thing out? You're just in time, brother.
Yes.
What do you guys think? What do you think it's gonna fly?
Oh yeah, she's gonna fly.
Yeah, she's gonna fly.
She'll fly. Absolutely. Like I said,
Yeah, so Brian's down there. He's on the other end of the runway, and you can hear him doing the run up. And I can only imagine what he's thinking after working on that thing for so many hours with us. And now he's the one that's going to be, test flying it all. I kind of want to be the one doing it, but I can't be. So I can only sit here. So I can only stand here and watch while he does his thing.
Cougar 887 Charlie is departing runway 28 clear pattern.
There it goes. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Man, that's sick. That is so cool. Man, I'll tell you what, if you guys could have been here to see that, that was epic. That was epic. That was absolutely epic.
We could do that again.
Oh man. That is so cool.
Look at that.
So did you think you're going to see that fly again?
Once you grabbed it, I knew I would.
Yeah,
I knew
yeah,
I'd see it fly again.
yeah.
I just wanted to be out here to see it.
Oh man, I love that you were able to be here.
That is nice.
Putting that much work into it, and just we've been working on it for like 3 months, flying, coming back and forth, and just
Finally done. Ready
it's
to
so
go
cool
home.
when you see it. You know what I mean? Then you see it flying, you see it come together, it's running, everything's working, and it's just sick. It's like it's another one saved, and
Another one saved, yep.
yeah. All right, so he's coming around here. He is going to do a low approach with the gear down. We're going to make sure everything's locked down and in good shape for him to land it. She's looking good, Brian. All three are down and locked.
That's good. Next one's touchdown.
Man, he squeaked that on. And she is down. So what do you think, Brian?
I want it.
You won it. You were having way too much fun.
Almost enough.
Almost enough. Almost enough. Like when you came in and landed, could you even feel it? Could you feel the landing?
I heard the squeaks.
Did it? It didn't. I didn't hear any squeaks. It was like so smooth. You were down. Let's get this thing all checked out and let's get ready to head home. Yeah, but the gear looked good. The underbelly looked good. All the antennas were flying right, so it was a good check. After waiting almost 2 years and the whole team working their butts off, it's finally time to fly her home.
All right, we'll start the left one up first. Good brakes. All right, master on.
Clear, prop. So, a few of you may or may not have noticed that I'm sitting left seat. That's right, Brian is a multi-engine instructor, and this will be my first time flying a multi-engine airplane cross country. I can't think of a better airplane to do it in. Let's go. We just took off. This thing is flying great. Bobby is back behind us, and he's going to be coming right up on our left wing. So that was like some of the coolest flying that I've ever done. It was absolutely amazing having two Cougars up in the air at the same time, wing to wing. It was just amazing. So, you know, and you know, saving these airplanes, saving this Cougar, flying with the guy that used to own it, and that saw it crash and everything. And I mean, it's surreal. It's so awesome. So we got like a 2 hour and 15-minute flight, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to shake this thing down some more on the way back to the rescue hangar. All right, so we're like almost halfway there right now, and I was looking over the airplane a little bit. We got a little bit of moisture here, probably from when it was washed coming out of this left wing. Everything is flying really good. All the temps are good. Everything's reading good. The left tank here, the sender, sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not. So we're going to go ahead. We'll replace that, but everything looks good. This Avidyne GPS, I mean, I have the IFT 100 up on my iPad. It also talks to ForeFlight. Like, all this stuff is next level. We got the replay.
Go ahead, we'll watch for traffic.
You know, so you can go ahead if you missed a call, which some of us has a habit of missing calls, so it's good just to have that. Not a habit, but it's just a lot of stuff going on in the airplane, and for me, it helps. If I have that, I can recall and double check. So then I don't have to be as embarrassed to talk to ATC and ask them again. So I'll ask them first, ask the radio first. So, but yeah, we had a tiny bit of a vibration here and there, maybe a little bit of a prop balance, but it's negligible. It's a little tiny bit. So you guys might also wonder what I'm doing sitting in the left seat, guys that have been following the channel. So Brian over here is a instructor, and I'm actually logging twin time. So I guess I should stop chatting here on video and start flying the airplane a little bit.
Yeah. Right now it's on manual autopilot.
Emmanuel. I thought you were Brian, not Emmanuel. So for this flight, we went ahead and we marked off a whole bunch of different airports along the way. So just in case, because we did a lot of work to this. Where this is the first cross country like this, and you have to know which one is the next one, which one's the next one, which one's the next one, just in case. Know your glide ratios, know where you're going. we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna go around Lake Erie. We're not gonna cross the lake like we did coming across, although we got 2 engines. And you know, we're gonna be really extra careful. And hopefully this flight goes well. So if you guys look, so we are right now, we're about, 15 minutes away because we're cruising along at 166 knots. We got a little bit of a tailwind and, you know, airspeed right now, it's got about 135, so, but, you know, we're cruising 24 on the RPM and right around 24 on the manifold pressure, so 24 squared. You know, I think we could get a little bit more speed out of this if we you know, rig the ailerons and just neutral to everything. Most airplanes are a little bit out, I find, so so we'll definitely do that.
Yeah, this one actually, it kind of, if you let go of the yoke, it does do a slow roll to the left, so you're constantly flying it to the right or
Yeah,
right.
yeah, so we'll go ahead, we'll rig that, balance everything out, and that should pick up a little bit more speed. Yeah, but so far, flight's been going good. It's just uneventful, which is really what we want, so.
I was looking forward to that.
Yeah. Oh, man, that was like, wow, that was total grace. Man. Guys, this is one more plane saved. It's back here. We got a few more things to do to it, and yeah, a few more things to do to it, and she can go to her new owner. Whew. Oh my gosh.
Well, it made it.
We missed it. That was good. It was such a good flight. So we're back. We got the Cougar rescued, and now it's time to clean her up, do a couple more things, and get her up for sale and move on to the next one. And now for the moment that you guys have all been waiting for. How much did we make or waste saving this Cougar? But I can tell you, even if we go on budget on some of these rescues, it doesn't matter to me. We're saving an airplane, we're getting it back in the sky. One of your kids, one of your grandkids, a friend, family, they're gonna be able to fly it. I know that this is gonna end up giving someone their multi rating, so it doesn't matter. I don't care if we go over budget, but we do need to make some money. We do need to, we need to pay for our hangars, and we need to pay for the 401. So we had $49,000 in parts to rescue this thing, which is a lot of money. $26,000 in labor. That gives us a 75,000 hour total to get this thing rescued. Now we do have to add in $6,000 for hotel rooms, for travel, for food. We got to feed the crew, but we need to credit back $24,000 for the 2 propellers from the Cougar down in Florida. And I have to give a shout out to Aviation Propellers Inc., which hooked us up to get them all repaired and shipped out to us. So with that $24,000 credit for the 2 propellers, that puts us in at a grand total of $57,000 to rescue this Cougar. Add in the $30,900 purchase price, and we're all in on this Cougar, flying an in-annual with new avionics, great propellers, all ready to go for $87,900. If we can get this Cougar sold for $110,000, that gives us a profit of $22,100. We hit our goal. We're making a profit on this thing, and I have a feeling this thing might be worth a little more than $110,000. So we're gonna see, we're gonna get this thing in the market. I've already got people that reached out that wanna buy it. It's going to go a long way to help with the cost of the 401 Phoenix. You know, that thing's not going to fly for free. I mean, it's going to be about $3,000 every time it goes up on a rescue trip. We have to maintain it, we have to keep it. And the only way that I know to do it is by saving these airplanes. So we're getting to do two things. We're helping to fly the 401, we're helping with missions, we're helping to keep things repaired, and we're getting airplanes saved again. There are so many airplanes all across the country. You guys have seen it, just sitting and rotting and wasting and wrecked and turned into parts. You know, this rescue, it wouldn't have been possible without the help of Griswold Aviation, Avidyne, Aviation Propellers Inc., Centennial Aircraft Services, Sparky at Nelson Aviation. Look, you guys, you dug in, you helped this rescue, you helped it make it all possible. And if without you guys watching, none of this would be possible. Thank you guys so much. It means so much to me. This rescue's done. Thank you for being part of the rescue crew. Take care.